When I was in 5th grade, I had a bully. And not only did she bully me, but she bullied my siblings too. And I am the oldest of 8, so I'm a big sister general. So while other kids were on the playground playing, I was out checking my chickens, making sure no one was getting dragged somewhere. Okay, but this girl specifically was violent. She would come up and punch, she would hit, and no one knew why. You know, we'd all end up in the principal's office, but everyone was just standing off. Like there was no agreement. You know, you guys just need to get along. Well, we weren't going to. And it just kept escalating. And my dad was just like, punch back. You know, you're getting all this advice from these parents of what to do. And I finally turned to everybody and I said, I'm inviting her to a sleepover. And everyone went, excuse me? And I said, I think that maybe she just wants someone to listen to her or hear her. Because why won't she leave us alone? She doesn't even know us, but for some reason she wants our attention. So I'm going to give her some attention and see what happens. Got nothing to lose at this point. So I go up to her at school and I say, do you want to come over for a sleepover? Yes. Cool. Friday, 5 p.m., 6 p.m., gave her our address. She showed up. There's me and all my little siblings. And she brought a Ouija board. We were in Mormon cult. This was weird. But you know what? I just thought she just needs someone to see her or hear her. So we sat and played this thing. And I'm very autistic. I'm very, ADHD. So I'm looking at this very unnerved because this is out of the rules. But I just went with my instincts on it. And then she was telling her stories about her life, whatever. She goes home the next day. Never spoke again, which is exactly what I thought would happen. But it was like we just acknowledged each other on the playground at that point because we were not the same people. It's not the same vibes. She just needed someone to hear her. Okay, now everyone else wanted to do the right, left, fight, 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 fight. And it just made it worse. Well, she's not like me and she's not like me. Okay, but a lot of people on the right stay there because it's all they know, but it's also tribal feeling like they want to belong to something. You know, I didn't have friends on the left. I was in this cult and, education was shit on in the Mormon cult. So people outside that were educated, it seemed like they thought they were better, or maybe I thought they were weird. Like there was all these things. But if people had just included me or asked me to be a part of something, then I would have felt safer. Okay, and right now we have people in the comments going, this isn't left or right, this isn't left or right. And this is the time to say, do you want to do a sleepover? See, the powers that be want us to go, well, they're not part of my value system. Well, they're not like me. That's what they want us to say. And while that all may be true, that's true right now. That doesn't mean it may not shift in a month, in 2 months. Look at the difference in 10 days from what's happened. Understand, I would have been on the right over there. I probably would have been upset about CK and things like this. And now I'm far left. So you don't know when you say they don't have my values, you mean right now. Introduce them to a different world with different values. You actually probably do have the same values. The context is just messed up because they're in a cult. But we can do the, hey, let's have a sleepover. And what I mean by that is we have the October 18th No King's Day protest. Let's think of that as a sleepover. Let's have them join us and stay on the same talking points of we want freedom of speech. We want the Epstein files. We want Israel out of our politics. Let's focus on the things that we want to do together. And that way, as we are standing there communicating, we are connecting. And the fear around stranger danger that they are raised in around us, because they are raised that way to be afraid of us, can start to dissipate because most of them have no real world experience with people on the left. They've seen what Fox News says and they know what their parents say. They don't know us, just like that girl didn't know me. But when I was kind enough to invite her, in spite of the fact that what she said and did was mean and scary, there was something that shifted there, and that she was nicer to people from there on out. So we have to look at possibility versus I already know how it's going to go, because none of us do. Well, yeah, but we've seen other countries. Okay, sure, there's parallels, but that doesn't mean we can't do something totally new. It doesn't mean that. Stop being stuck in, well, we're like this country or like that. We are this country. We are an experiment. So we have to continue to experiment by communicating with people that maybe make us feel uncomfortable. Because guess what? We make them feel uncomfortable because the way we have been divided. So please consider having sleepovers in the way that you engage them. Invite them to this protest. Imagine how big this protest could be and how dangerous that is for this administration. The biggest weapon we have is to take their people and unite with them. They would have no legs left to stand on, because people don't understand, to seize control of a country, you have to be popular. He's not popular already. But when we have them start joining us for protests, like I want to call them purple protests, they're not red, they're not blue, they're purple. Think of what would be possible. We have to start thinking outside of the boxes. Stop with the instant judgment, you don't know what they could be in even 5 minutes. I'm talking from this perspective because I've got a mom that voted red her entire life, and now she's a progressive. She studies all the time to make up for the education gaps that she had. She's fiercely blue now. And before it was that wasn't possible, until I said, but maybe it is. Maybe it is. And I put my pride down and I went back out, and I knew this was going to be hard, and I did it anyway. And part of that's because I didn't want her to die with that on her conscience. Right? I didn't want her going down at the last minute she started to see all this. I wanted to give that to her. And I want to give that to these people too. So let's stop with the rigid, good, bad, right, wrong, this is all what it is, black and white. And let's dare to go into the gray or the purple and just see what happens.